Hello everyone, welcome to YK Reviews and welcome to the final review of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies before Mutant Mayhem. Now at the time of you guys watching this, I'll be heading out tonight to go watch Mutant Mayhem. There's going to be a review for that most likely tomorrow, and we're going to be doing a tier ranking for all the movies because why the hell not? So with this one, it's Batman vs. the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated movie, so let's dive into it here. Now, I'll be completely honest, I had no idea this movie even existed. And I know it's technically not like canon and it's just its like own separate thing, but whenever you're ever going to see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles teaming up with Batman, I know they did back in like the 90s, Turtles teamed up with the Power Rangers, the In-Space Power Rangers, which I really enjoyed that episode. It was a fun episode. So to have them team up with Batman, and I love the Batman animated series, two of my favourite animated shows teaming up together, this was definitely a must watch and a must review. So if you have seen it, let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts about it. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you are new to the channel, definitely consider hitting that subscribe button. I've been doing all the reviews for all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I also do weekly entertainment news videos, so that's still coming later on this week. So you're always in the know when it comes to movie news, video game news, TV related news. So definitely hit that subscribe button if that is your cup of tea. But let's get started with the movie in itself, because the movie opens up with Barbara Gordon, Batwoman. She's doing this tour of this facility when all of a sudden a smoke grenade arrives and the Foot Ninjas steal a power generator, I believe it was. And Barbara Gordon, she sees a shell, she sees like turtles in shadow, and assumes that these are the ones that were behind the theft. So Barbara Gordon goes and explains this to Batman. Bruce Wayne is actually looking into this with Alfred in his Batcave. They're assuming that these are metahumans because that could only be the logical explanation. They wouldn't have ever come up with the fact that it could be a Ninja Turtle, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, that is. And they come to realize soon that the Wayne Enterprise building is actually the next target. So you've got one particular part where it's got Bruce Wayne and the Foot Clan, but then on the outside you've got the Penguin. He is looking to steal what the Foot are looking to steal, so that way he can then sell it to the Foot, basically try and get that little extra cash in his pocket, only to then be thwarted by the Turtles. So they take out some of the guards one by one, and then they arrive at the scene and they take on the Penguin. What I really liked about this particular scene, and especially throughout the whole movie, is Mikey's enthusiasm and line delivery and comedy that he's pursuing throughout the whole movie, complimenting his enemies in just such an incredibly hilarious fashion. He's complimenting the Penguin while they're fighting the Penguin, and it just came across so entertaining.
Gotham is bonkers, yo!
Now, when it comes to the actual turtles themselves, I'll be honest, I love the voice acting, I love the animation style with the turtles. My one little criticism is Donnie's head shape looked very weird. Other than that, the rest of the turtles looked really great. Of course, the animation style, this whole movie was just looking beautiful. Batman's animation style and the costumes and the colouring just looked really, really great to watch, really presented on screen as a beautiful setting. So you've got the turtles outside fighting the Penguin, taking down the criminals, and then inside you've got Batman, Bruce Wayne taking on the Foot Clan to stop them from stealing the item that they're looking to steal. So Batman manages to grab one of the Foot Ninjas, and before the Foot Ninja is able to talk, the shooting star lands right onto his head, killing him. Now of course this is like a more hardcore movie, a more hardcore animation, because you've got blood, not exactly gore, but you've got like brutal kills, blood in there, brutality. So you see the throwing star landing right on his head, and that's where the Shredder enters the building, and you have this amazing fight, which I never thought we'd ever see, the Shredder versus the Batman in a hand-to-hand combat, and it just came across so well. Really brutal, really stunning to watch. Batman gets the best of the Shredder at one point. Shredder takes the upper hand afterwards and is able to use this ninjutsu style to beat Batman, and threatens him that if he ever gets in his way again, he will kill him. And meanwhile, outside, you've got the turtles fanning out over the Batmobile, which I honestly don't blame them. But like I mentioned, the child nature of the turtles, the enthusiasm that they have. Even Mikey at one point talking about the blips hovering above Gotham and just like talking about Gotham itself. They're just fanboying, and it was just so great to see. But with them fangirling or fanboying over the Batmobile, Batman arrives, and then again a beautiful fight sequence when it comes to the Turtles versus Batman. You even have one scene where Mikey gets thrown into like this pizza restaurant, and the crowd's reaction to it just hilarious, and an incredible hand-to-hand combat. Batman just beats the living crap out of the turtles, and that's when Donnie uses a smoke bomb to make them disappear. And so then we get who the villains are of the movie. So you've got this fly version of Baxter Stockman, who doesn't know if he's like a hostage or if he's like an ally with Shredder. And we come to find out that Shredder has actually teamed up with Ra's al Ghul. I really never expected this. You've got the League of Assassins, Ra's al Ghul, teaming up with the Shredder. So the Shredder has this mutagen that will be able to mutate everybody in the city, which is what Ra's al Ghul wants. And in return, he will give the Shredder the Lazarus Pit so that the Shredder can become immortal. They even tested out the mutagen on one of the League of Assassins where he became a werewolf. And then you had Robin above in the ceiling witnessing all of this. So he went to go report this back to Bruce Wayne. You have like the sequence where you've got Batman and the Turtles both researching one another, realizing that they are not enemies. Donnie comes up with the idea of how to find the Batcave. When they do enter the Batcave, once again just fangirling or fanboying out of the Batcave. You've got Mikey putting on like one of the hoods of the Batman on top of a dinosaur. You've got Donnie freaking out over like the TV, the monitors, the technology that he has. Just such great entertainment there. Like the writing and the aspect of the comedy with the Turtles just worked so well. Robin arrives and you have this little fight with Robin and the Turtles. They're battling one another. Robin does get the upper hand in certain aspects, but then Mikey uses his turtle instincts, puts all of his body parts and his head inside a shell, and then the shell lands on Robin to like subdue him. And that's when Batman arrives with Alfred, and they explain like how they are not enemies, how they need to work together. You have a part where they're ordering pizza with Alfred, just one-liners there, and confiscating Mikey's skateboard, them eating pizza together. Just it really made up for like such great entertainment. And meanwhile, you've got the Shredder and Ra's al Ghul. They'll break into Arkham Asylum, and as they're walking looking for the inmate that they're looking for, you see in the background, you see Mr. Freeze, you see Scarecrow, you see Bane, you see Poison Ivy, you see Harley Quinn there. They go and free the Joker, with the Joker giving them his formula for the Joker Venom, and while they're giving him the mutagen that they use. And so the Joker basically unleashes this mutagen on everybody in Arkham Asylum, so everybody's getting mutated. All the villains that we just saw, all are getting mutated. Meanwhile, as everybody's eating pizza, they get a signal from Commissioner Gordon, who's explaining to them the breakout at the Arkham Asylum. Once again, everybody disappears, but then once again, with Commissioner Gordon saying, oh, everybody's leaving while I never finish my sentence, and Mikey's just hanging out, still being there. Just Mikey honestly was my favourite in this whole animated movie. Just came across so great, so cheeky, so immature, but in such a great way. And so they're off to the Arkham Asylum to stop all of this. And honestly, this is where you get some really great action scenes, this really great sequence of events. So you've got everybody like splitting up, taking on these villains. So you've got Mikey, Robin, and Ralph going and taking on Mr. Freeze, who turns into a polar bear. And I don't know if it was just my ears, but there was one part where honestly Mr. Freeze sounded like Arnold Schwarzenegger from the Batman version of his live action movie. I swear to you, it really did sound like him. But they're taking on Mr. Freeze, and once again Mikey delivering great lines in the movie about if he can't handle the heat, stay out of the kitchen. Just really great comedy there. They're trying to take on the polar bear, but obviously he's just outpowering them. They're able to run away from the polar bear. They end up running into a room where you've got Poison Ivy, where she's just stuck. She's not able to get them at all, so she's just sort of like left there, and so they're able to go around her. Meanwhile, you've got Batwoman and Donatello. They end up fighting Bane, and Bane's just turned into like this big monster, and he's able to like get the upper hand on Batwoman. He's able to get the upper hand on Donatello. However, the way they managed to beat him, similar to like how Bane breaks Batman's back, Bruce Wayne's back, he tries to do it to Donatello, but because his shell is so hard, it hurts his knee, and then you've got Batwoman knocking him over with one of the weights. So then Poison Ivy and now Bane is out of the picture. And meanwhile then you've got Batman and Leonardo working together. So they run into Scarecrow, who manages to deliver the poison, Scarecrow poison that hallucinates Leonardo. Leonardo sees crows going onto his brothers, turning them into like skeletons, turning him into like corpses basically. And Batman tries to help him get out of this coma, get out of this hallucination. He gives him the cure thingy that helps him see straight, and he's able to knock out Scarecrow. So now Scarecrow is incapacitated. And so they run into the room where they find Two-Face with two hostages, which we think are two hostages, but turn out to just be bombs. So you've got Two-Face, who his face is basically split, so there's one face being split into its two faces. I couldn't make this up for you. I honestly couldn't. And then you've got the Joker, who's turned into like this snake, a rattlesnake, and Harley Quinn, and her voice acting for Harley Quinn was just so top notch. She's turned into this dog, like this big dog, wolf, whatever it was. So you've got Leonardo, you've got Batman, then Robin, Donnie and Mikey enter the room as well. They think that hostages are real, ends up getting blown up. Mr. Freeze arrives as well, so then you've got this big fight sequence. Mr. Freeze, the polar bear, ends up freezing Batman. The Joker ends up putting his Joker venom along with a mutation on Batman, so Batman turns into this very evil bat who ends up taking out Two-Face, ends up taking out Mr. Freeze, and is trying to take out the Turtles. But with him being this bat, it ends up backfiring. The Joker and Harley Quinn end up getting decommissioned. Batwoman ends up breaking all of the teeth from the snake of the Joker, and they're decommissioned now. And they end up giving the anti-mutagen to Batman to help cure him. But because all of this going on, this was basically a giant distraction for the Turtles. Because the Penguin ended up stealing the item for Ra's al Ghul and the Shredder. Obviously, he was looking to get a payment, but the Foot ended up killing all of his guards, so he ended up with nothing and just got his life spared. The heroes realize that they're in the Ace building, but Batman does not want to work with the Turtles. You have this really nice moment with Ralph giving this speech to Batman about family, about how to work together, and this great speech and great moment. It really came across well. I really enjoyed that aspect of the movie with Ralph and his words of wisdom to Batman. And so you've got Mikey inside the Batmobile, you've got everybody else inside the turtle vehicle that they're in, and there was even, again, like great dialogue and entertainment with at one point as they're driving to the Ace building, you've got everybody taking out the Foot Ninjas, the League of Assassins, these mutants, so they're taking them out in various different styles, motorbikes and other weapons that they're using. And there was even one point where Batman allowed Mikey to push all the buttons in the Batmobile, and Robin saw this and just had that great line of, I wish I was able to push all the buttons. Just some great dialogue in this movie. So as they get into the building, you've got Robin going one-on-one with Baxter Stockman, but Baxter Stockman realizes that he's just a hostage in this whole situation, so they don't really fight. You've got Leo and Donnie taking on Ra's al Ghul. Ra's al Ghul just defeats them so easily. You really made them look like amateurs. He ends up breaking one of Donnie's arms, and with this machine that's going to be spraying all the mutagen across Gotham City, it ends up taking off with Donnie and Mikey on there. Mikey ends up pushing buttons, breaking things, having the machine explode, stopping the mutagen from ever spreading. Meanwhile, you've got Batman taking on the Shredder once again in a rematch, a great rematch I have to say. They're going back and forth, hand-to-hand combat, no tricks, no weapons or anything like that. And in the end, with this machine falling and crashing, it ends up crashing, and the Shredder is ended up buried in the rubble of all of this, thinking that he's dead, and they end up saving Gotham. So if we're sticking with the Shredder, there is a post-credit scene where Shredder does come out of the rubble, but it looks like he has been mutated, so he's got that Joker laugh, that Joker look on it. So you've got the Shredder in Joker form, which I really hope we do get a sequel for this one day, because I want to see that. So the Shredder is essentially alive, and then you've got the ending where everybody's saying their goodbyes, and you've got Batman saying pizza time. They're all enjoying their pizza together, so just a really nice wholesome moment, a way to end the movie, and just overall a really fun, energetic, enjoyable movie with great animation, great voice acting, great dialogue. I really had a great time with this movie. It was such a fun, entertaining movie, a movie that I never thought I'd want, but I'm so glad it happened, and I'm so glad we were able to see it. It's definitely like a more of a darker tone when it comes to like the battle fight sequences and everything, but it was just a really great time to enjoy, and I really recommend this if you haven't seen it, because it is a great Batman Turtle team up movie. But if you have seen it though, let me know in the comment section down below your thoughts about this. Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? If you haven't seen it, will you check it out? Let me know in the comment section down below. But that about wraps it up for the final review before the Mutant Mayhem movie review comes out. Thank you so much for watching. If you have seen all the reviews, I really appreciate your support for that. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. This is YK Reviews. Peace.